Welcome to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast, where high achieving entrepreneurs and leaders come to receive deep, insightful conversations and practical guidance to move from hustle to flow without sacrificing their authentic self and the results. I am your host and Chief Energy Officer, Tammy Cho, a former patient care leader turned international best-selling author, speaker, and face and body analysis expert. Get ready to lead your authenticity, lead your energy, and lead your impact. Hi, thank you so much for tuning into the show today. I'm deciding to do something a little different on this show. I'm going to let myself to experiment and explore a little bit, teaching through some storytelling. I was actually looking up at my human design, and one of the blessings I bring is really allowing myself to persevere through the experimentation and to really mutate and transform the learning and to lead and influence through sharing and modeling what I do. This is what I love about human design is that it really speaks to these places that I wouldn't know to ask that question of how am I meant to show up and lead and how am I meant to experiment in this way. And it's just provides so many avenues of energetic alignment within myself that has really served me, has served many of my clients to really understand themselves in this way. And so I'm going to step into playing into that and seeing what happens. And the other piece of my blessing is that I am empowered in the intuitive clarity I have in every moment. So pre-planning and doing things too much doesn't actually work very well for me, as I've noticed in my messaging as I'm learning through different coaches and things like that. And if you're interested in human design and to have a reading with me, to really learn these pieces about your business, like maybe you've done an intro reading and you want to dive a little deeper, or vice versa, you want to just tap into the intro pieces and build on together, please reach out to me. My contact is in the show notes, as you're aware. And so let's dive in. And so what I feel called to share today was that I was actually playing with my nephew and my daughter over the weekend, and we were playing soccer. And we're just playing, having fun, seeing my soccer skills definitely flourish between these two young ones because both of them actually played soccer at some point. And so I was bringing up my previous skills as a soccer player. And it was interesting what happened because my daughter would be goalie sometimes. It was like 2 against 1, right? And so she would be the goalie sometimes. And then my nephew would be in offense, I guess you would call it. And for her, she would switch, they would play different roles. So they both get to experience different perspectives in the game. And I was defending everything on my end. And it was super fun. However, I saw this happen for my daughter. And there was this place within her that she let the goal in and she's, oh, I let the goal in and I'm so bad. And she literally, her whole body went down to the ground and she got upset. I was like, it's okay. Let's just keep on playing. And it's interesting. And then she switched roles to be on the offensive. And the same thing happened when the ball passed by her and it went in, like her whole embodiment threw herself on the ground again to really go into this place of, oh, I'm so bad. I always do things wrong. When, of course, as a mom, it's like, oh my goodness, it's okay. It's okay. And another layer of this is that when she basically kicked the ball onto my leg and it bounced into the goal on her side, the same thing would repeat. And by this time, I was like, you know what, Madison, this is not okay. It's not okay to put yourself down. It literally just bounced off my leg and went into the goal. It had nothing to do with you. And this is interesting because I help people process through a lot of emotion and to step into their emotional and energy leadership. And so I have a daughter that's super emotional. And it's so beautiful how the universe aligns all these things for us, for two souls to meet in this lifetime in this way. And she went away crying. I finished the game with my nephew and I went to just support her and love her. And she has this tendency to make herself bad and wrong, and sometimes to the extent that she would push me away. And so this has been a journey. And I had that intuition in the moment is that mass. And I think the reason why when you're younger, you would hide away was that she would not want help because she felt she was too bad to receive it. And it was a beautiful awakening and awareness. And I think that she has progressed in other ways through time. And as I was holding space for her, she was starting to allow me in a little deeper. And she's having more awakenings within herself to actually let me in, to support her and to hold her a little closer. Whereas sometimes when we would go through something like this, oftentimes she would just run away and not necessarily want to express and be held. And so, what amazing awakening as a mom to a child to be able to hold space, to open up these awarenesses. And I was holding space for her and allowing her to have choice about how close I was with her, to what degree she wanted me to touch her, and things like this. And she was coming around and she's realizing I'm pretty hard on myself, mom. Yeah, it's okay, Madison. We're going to get through this together. Right. And in that moment, because one of the tools we play with is oracle cards. And so she wanted to draw a card. Can you please draw a card for me? And she wanted to draw from 4 different decks. And all 4 different decks is spoke about wearing a new cloak, new beginnings, letting go of the old. There was similar messagings on all 4 cards. Oftentimes, when I get too spiritual on her, she'll say, "Oh, mom, you're too spiritual." And so it was a gift. And it showed that she was in a place of openness to really open up to 4 different decks and have them say the same thing to her. And so, how energetically aligned is that? And that spirit is watching over us, me, her, all of us, all the time, whether we are aware of it or not. And it was so beautiful because the next day was Remembrance Day, November 11th, and it was 1 1 Y 1. And in this moment of the day, I told her, this is the day that we set new intentions and to tell the universe what we want. And so as we were speaking to this, like she actually wanted to draw another set of cards. And this time it was like from a kid's deck that she had in her room, that she draws them once in a while, not that often, but she got the inspiration to do that. And so she wanted me to pull a card. She pulled a few cards. And guess what? All 4 cards, all of them had the word desire on it. And in that moment, as we're going through all of this and having these awakenings and where it is this together, like she was saying to herself, oh, I should say that one of the cards also talked about, and so we talked about, whoa, how about we journal your desires and things like that? So I don't know if I should get a new journal. Like I have all these journals, but they all have stuff written for them. And I was like, you know what? You're allowed to get a journal that looks perfect for you. Because back then, when she was not so into journaling, right? Like sometimes I would just give her journals that we had extras and things like that. So she never really got her own, right? And she started dreaming about what the top of the journal would look like. She was like, about all these colors and patterns and how the one had a dragon and had this like fire that flew out this way. And it's so beautiful that when she was given permission, she was then allowed to dream. And she's, can I have more than one desire? And she literally sat there and started writing out these desires. And she had created a little mini altar for her. And so she put the messages into her container, her white container. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to know what it is. This is private to you. And she was so excited about letting herself sire. It was so beautiful to see. And as we came around to the evening time and it was time to go to bed and we lay there together, she woke up and I need to go bathroom. She came back in and she was like, "Oh, I'm feeling this need to clean my room." So she started cleaning her desk. And of course, it was the end of the night. And I was like, no, she's having a subconscious opening. She may not connect the fact that this inner need to let go of the old, the mess in her desk, and to let in more was actually that's what was happening. And she's, this doesn't happen a lot, Mom. You need to clean it with me. And so it was a beautiful experience of me just witnessing her and listening to her and holding her into this awakening into the 1111 portal. And so as we did this, and like she was so happy, my room is so clean. And it's just so beautiful. My daughter is like 10, right? So she's really young, super cute, more spiritual than I think she realizes. But it was like so beautiful in this way. And it's created this space within me as a mom. And I share this story partly because I'm a proud mom. But second of all, is like, how cool is this that the authentic leader that I am showing up in my business is also the mom that I choose to be? Because what I also feel is that being authentic leader, it doesn't just start and stop at work in your career or business, right? It also carries over to your personal life. And this is the beautiful thing is to ask yourself, right? Are you showing up as the same person in the personal life and also in the business life? In your friendships, honestly, we're not maybe sharing certain things in different environments, but are you being the same person? The next lesson I'm seeing that my intuition is called to share, notice how many of us where we are going about our life, right? Saying these statements to ourselves that I'm bad, I'm wrong. We may not be saying it out loud, right? Or we're saying in our head is, oh, I can't do that. Or it's like, oh, I screwed up on that. And me as well. My daughter went through, I go through as well. Like I had a lot of that self-criticalness and self-judgment pieces play out in my life quite often. And it kept me back a long time. And you know what? Like we pass on our trauma through the generations. It's actually proven in the ACE studies where they looked at adverse childhood effects and the effects in our DNA and that plays out in our chronic conditions and in our cells that get passed on. And it's not surprising when I read it, but I was like, oh, cool. Science now says that. And so I went through what I went through to hold space for her. And in this story, right? Let me ask you, like, how many times are you judging yourself, telling yourself in your way that I'm bad? I don't deserve that. Like when she spoke about not deserving a new journal because she already had one that worked. How many times do you tell yourself that you have all these things, it's good enough, and you don't let yourself dream? You don't give yourself the permission to dream and to have something different and to feel that. And it's just a beauty to use what we experience in our everyday lives, right? To be present enough to allow it to open us. Whether you hear this on the podcast, whether it's your own son and daughter watching maybe a movie, right? Are you awake to let in the lessons? Are you awake to allow yourself to desire more and that you deserve more and the best? And another lesson I see here is that, like, take a look at your closet. Because my experience with living my life, and I often feel a strong connection with my environment, like how my environment looks greatly affects our mental wellness. And I've been really conscious of this from the beginning, starting my business to now, really seeing the connection between how messy my closet is versus how much stuff I gotta work on. So it's like there's with my daughter, right? Feeling this opening is like, oh, I gotta get rid of stuff to let things in, right? Like that, where when you have these moments in your life where you feel this need to like just clean and get rid of stuff, that is good. That is like something within you telling you that it's time to grow. It's time to make room for more, right? And sometimes when I see myself, like I've cleaned this up, okay, now I got to organize, right? I can see like where in my business where I've been letting myself use messiness, just organization as a way to keep me playing small. The clutter we leave around, right? Look at your closet. Is it just a big mess? Does it need organization? Do you need to let go of something? Because we're way more connected to the environment than we are aware of. If you want an honest look with the crap that you have on the inside, open up your closet. What is your relationship to that mess? Because our home is the body, often represents the body, and our closets are things we put away that we don't necessarily want people to see. But it's time for you to tap into seeing this in a new way. So open up that closet, look at what is calling your attention. What is the voice that goes on in your head? I don't know why, but I want to do this to this part of the closet. So, oh, interesting that this part is stacked in this way, but this part is all messy. It's like, really let that be a reflection back to you. Like, where am I letting this part of myself show up very clean? And this part of myself is just a big mess. And this is not about judgment, it's around allowing what's around us to speak to us. God speaks to us, Spirit speaks to us in all these different ways if we're willing to look. And as a face and body analysis expert, right, it's a lot to do with what gets held in our body as well. But looking at our closet provides that snapshot. What's going on? Do I spend time cleaning the rest of the house and leave my space a mess? Or do I prioritize my own space? It's just fascinating how we could tap into life as our personal development in so many ways, whether that's through our beautiful child, right? Whether that's through our closet, whether that's through really journaling to ourselves and dropping into that deeper presence for ourselves. I hope that this episode has really spoke to you and a new in a different way, hit things at a different angle for you to really allow life to really show us what is happening, to be awake, to experience what is happening underneath. Because these are messages from God, from spirit, from your unconscious, reflecting back to you, because you would not have the experiences and awarenesses within you if it wasn't a deeper part of you calling it up to be observed. Because when we start to live life in this way and develop that connection with everything around us, our business being the reflection back to how we feel on the inside, our family going to the gym and how we move in our embodiment. All these pieces speak back to these parts of you that are trying to get your attention. Can you let it be fun? Can you let it be magical? Can you let the intention of opening up your environments and cleaning your environment and taking care of your child also be the shift that happens for you in your life and your business? It can happen. I've seen it happen again and again. When we tap into life in this way, we see the energetic connection between all these pieces and we learn how to harness and leverage it. It becomes fun and easy. There is spiritual efficiency. There is a harmony of time, and you are the source. It starts from you shifting who you're being. It starts from you shifting who you are, who you choose to show up. What is the relationship you have to yourself and the world around you? I hope you loved this episode. I hope it really dropped deeper into your body. If you're in a place where you really want to tap into really mastering your time, mastering spiritual efficiency, and to see the connection of life between you your family, your business, and not to have separation between these pieces, please reach out. Let's jump on a call. Let's get to know each other. Let's get to know where you're at and what's actually possible for you when you step into your self leadership, when you tap into your energy leadership, and to show up awakened for your life in this way. Much love to you. I hope to chat with you soon. Please subscribe and follow all these pieces if you're not wanting to miss a future episode. Much love to you. Sending you love and light. Thank you so much for listening to the Authentic Leaders Rising podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review so others can find the life-changing content that we're sharing here. We are starting our movement on our way to number 1, and we need your help to get there. If you'd like to connect with other high-achieving entrepreneurs and leaders who are also on their authentic, energetic leadership journey, join our free Facebook community, Energetically Aligned Leaders. Go to pathtotheheart.com/links to join the Facebook group, book your personalized face analysis experience, or to access our resources.